Hey guys, this week on the Reactor Summit, we talk about the Anarchy tournament as it continues in round 2. We talk about who's the boss, the future winners of the tournament, versus the Cinemaniacs, and Take the Cannoli versus the Harris Bros. Let's see how this turns out.
Without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Take 3's Reactor Summit. I am not Kristen Smith, and I know. Please, wait! Before you exit, come on, just give me a chance, just one more chance.
Is what I told her, and she left.
Because I'm back. I am, of course, Matt Kearns. I am taking over hosting duties for Kristen Smith just for this week. And I have a pretty cool panel to talk about all of the Anarchy matches of round 2. With me, I have, he's always here, and we love him, Malcolm Goldilay. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just ready to talk about a lot of good matches.
We also have, he edits the Reactor Summit. He watches the Schmoedown, I think. Abe Flores, how are you doing?
Guys, Nike has pants and tights for fall. Well, you cannot see it, but I just got an email of them. That's great.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes. So, guys, the matches we're covering this week is going to be Who's the Boss versus Cinemaniacs and Take the Cannoli versus the Harris Brothers, or they might be Harris Bros. I have it as Harris Bros. On my notes.
Harris Brothers.
It's Harris Brothers. Yeah, I was going to say I just shorthanded it for myself. But let's start off with the first match of the week. Who's the Boss versus Cinemaniacs? So, first thing we need to talk about is the fact that both these teams, their chemistry is amazing. Of course, Bibbs and Nose just have they had this whole thing where it's like, Nose didn't change him for anyone. Like, he doesn't care. He's just gonna sit there but then he chooses moments where he it's almost like he's doing it sarcastically to make fun of Bibbs, to where he'll be like, it's a lot like me on the summit, actually. And then of course, Who's the Boss? I love the fact that Tom and Ben have almost formed something, and Riley's just kind of the face just staying on the side, okay, yeah, come on guys, but my god, the chemistry between all these teams is amazing, and that's why it sucked that we were losing one of these teams from the tournament. But we go in. Round 1 was an extremely close round. It ends 11-12 in favor of Who's the Boss. We go into round 2. Who's the Boss lets the Cinemaniacs spin first, and they hit Meryl Streep, and they spin away. Which raises the question I'm going to ask everyone on the panel here. Bibbs, what the hell's going on? So Abe, Bibbs, what the hell's going on?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep, the greatest actress of all time. If you have to say something about it, well, maybe you're the president of the United States. But I thought this match was great, Meryl Streep, as always, if you see it in his early work in The Deer Hunter, one of my favorite movies of 1978. I don't know how this has to do with the Schmoedown. But about the match, No,
we're not talking about the match yet. Just the fact that Bibbs, who always screams Meryl Streep in the stands, gets Meryl Streep and spins away from it.
Sorry, I was watching the match.
Yet. That's perfect. Malcolm, what are your thoughts on this? Is Bibbs just being a jerk? He finally gets Meryl Streep. He's always like, Meryl Streep, and then he gets it and he spins away. What's Harvey Dent doing over here?
Personally, I think it's more like when someone starts to chant in the crowd and it just sticks in your head. It's like, I'll just do it whenever I can. It's I think it's something like that. Because Meryl Streep, just like another category we're probably going to talk about in the next match, she's been in a lot of movies, so you never know what what 6 movies they're going to pick for a question is they could pick some of their most obscure movies or some that may not be out.
True, we'll get into the conversation about categories and stuff in minutes, but personally, we love bibs here. I just thought that was so funny that, like, he hits Meryl Streep and he doesn't stick with it. Like, he spins away, which I get why, it's like Malcolm saying, but it's also like, dude, come on, you should have stuck with it. But of course, they spin away and they hit fantasy sci-fi and they get 8 points. Who's the Boss goes, they spin, they hit Spinner's Choice, and they decide to go with, of course, because Ben Bateman's face is on the wheel slice and will stay on that wheel slice after this Patreon exhibition match. They go with movie release dates and they gain 10 points because Who's the Boss is freaking awesome. We go into round 3. Cinemaniacs, they hit their 2 and their 5 pointers, but they miss their 3. Who's the Boss? They just need to hit the 2 and 3 to win the game. Post-match interview, on Who's the Boss side, it's kind of just, they both agree, they work very well together. Riley's, you know, he's glad he put his faith into Ben when it came to choosing movie release dates in round 2. But the real thing that happened is we're continuing to hype the title match next week. Roka breaking into the post-match interview again. We also had, I thought, a really funny moment on Emma's behalf where it's like, now she doesn't have to think about having to be the manager for the Cinemaniacs and the Shire Wolves if Cinemaniacs won the tournament. So, Abe, you seemed like you had a lot of thoughts on this match before. So, what are your thoughts on this match?
Oh, finally I can get to talk about the match. That's great. First, I want to mention the pre-match interviews. I think the tension between the Cinemaniacs and their manager, it's there. And it's a fantastic way to start a match with that kind of energy. Emma yelling at Nose yelling at Emma, Bibbs yelling at Emma yelling at Nose. You know, everything that happens. That's amazing. And also the tension in the other team of Who's the Boss, Riley being alone at the end because they left it. He wanted to say nice things about their opposition in that kind, and well, they're heels. Finstock and Bateman are heels, and they left the face, if you can call Riley a face, because he's in a horseman. But that's a different story. And about the match, I was hoping Who's the Boss winning because of the man, the legend, Tom Dagnino.
Oh, well.
Tom Dagnino, and I don't think their lead was never threatened by the Cinemaniacs. I think they had the match in the back like since round 1 until round 3, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll jump off that point. They're at least for me, and again, you could just say it's just pure bias because Who's the Boss is like far and away my favorite team in this entire tournament. But there was never a moment watching where I felt like, oh, they're gonna lose it here. Like I never, which I like sometimes when it's your favorites, like not having them. And there's no offense to Cinemaniacs, they played a really great game. And when you see when you see the end score, it's not like it was a knockout or TKO, but there was still that thing of like, Ben and Riley have just been gelling so well in this tournament that I just have this sense. That's why I think they're going to go to the finals, which we're going to get into a conversation about later, because like there's just this comfort and this sense of like having, again, Riley going with a strength that's not exactly his, but is Bateman's, and it working out. Like there's just something about that. And Finstock being Finstock, I think, is the best thing because while they're focusing on doing that, Tom is just able to be off in the crowd, making jokes, doing all this. This was just a really fun match to watch. Malcolm, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this match, and it's one of those ones which, it shows how the category round 2 can make or break the match. Because I mean, if they had gotten something better, they could have got like all their points if they didn't have to go to multiple choice, but that it was one of those ones which they just had to go to multiple choice on a few of those questions, and sometimes you just have to if you're not too sure. Because if you give up too many 2-point steals, then it's going to be a knockout for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, not that I'm saying the match itself was entertaining, because it was. The entrances, especially the Cinemaniacs, was on point. It's like they just ran over the mistake that they made in the last match with the entrance music and did the beach blanket bingo thing. It's like, and then noticed at the end just grabbing the ball and just deflating it. It's like, and which of course has just made him notice another gif. It's like, and I mean, one thing I am actually thinking is, if Who's the Boss stays together, do they keep the dynamic of one being face, one being heel, or would Riley go heel or Ben go face to keep the dynamic the same? So that's going to be an interesting thing if these teams stay together.
Well, yeah, if they stay together, honestly, I don't think they would do that, because I think that's why the dynamic works. I know neither one of you are patrons of Team Action, which you should be, patreon.com/Team Action. But Ben and Drew,
this is not a sponsor.
They're not a sponsor, but they should be. They recap every match that they play, and it's really great. And I haven't watched the most recent one. I just haven't had the time, which Riley was actually on. But when Ben and Drew recapped Ben's first match with Who's the Boss, I think Ben talked about that he liked was the fact that, like, him and Tom being the heels and being kind of dicks, and then you have Mark, like, apologizing for it. He really enjoys that. I like that too. I like the fact that, like, Ben will sit there and will be like, "Bibbs, you suck. You're a paper champ," and Riley will just be like, I'm sorry that my partner is being so mean." Like, that messes with the competitors. I think more so than even, like, Team Action just both being dicks. If it's like one of the partners is being a dick and the other one's like, "Listen, I'm real sorry. You're playing a really great game." Like, it kind of is perfect because you don't know where to stand with that. It's a great mental game, I think. So I hope if they stick together, if they stick together, I hope Tom continues to manage them. I think that is also a strength of the team. And two, they have to keep that face-heel dynamic. But let's move on to the next match of the week, which was Take the Cannoli versus the Harris brothers. Because, of course, our good buddy JTE took him out. He decided to not continue competing for his own personal reasons. We're hoping everything's doing fine for you. So Lon Harris went out and got his brother to come and compete with him. And the first thing we need to talk about, Lon Harris and his brother, their characters. I love this dynamic. They just think they're the smartest people in the Schmoedown. I love the beret that one of them was wearing. Like, it was perfect. And then, of course, as a huge fan of the movie Logan, I loved Take the Cannoli's entrance. I thought it was really awesome. And also, Brian Chandler, give this woman credit. She had that cosplay of X-23 down to a T. She had rainbow shirt. She had, like, it was fantastic. And also, they all played trivia pretty dang well, because round one ended 10-12 in favor of the Harris brothers. We move into round two. Harris brothers, they spin the wheel-sponsored slice of Sam Jackson, which maybe wasn't the best choice because they end up only walking away with 6 points. Take the Cannoli was able to get a 1-point steal off for them. Take the Cannoli go. They spin, they hit Action Adventure and spin away, and they almost get opponent's choice, but it's able to hit on 80s, and they gain only 7 points. It was a pretty iffy round two, but we'll talk more about that, of course, when we get to the post-match interviews. We go into round three, Take the Cannoli, hit their 2-pointer. miss their 3 and hit their 5, and the Harris Bros are able to hit all of their round 3 questions, winning the match. We go into the post-match interviews. The Harris brothers they're just being the smart guys. Like, they're just like, oh, well, of course, this is how it was going to be, which, again, I love. I thought that dynamic was great. Take the cannolis. It was interesting. And this sort of brings up the first conversation point before we get into the match, which is Drew McWeeny talks about getting his strength and it not working out for him. And Jen even brings up this happened to Riley and Guy most recently. So the question I'm going to pose here, first to you, Malcolm, is do you think Schmoedown competitors should start rethinking in round 2, taking their strengths when they hit it first on the wheel? Like, depending on what strength it is, like if it's action adventure or 80s, like a strength that's been played a lot, because as Drew said, they're just getting more deep cut, and even if you have the knowledge, sometimes you're just not able to pull deep cut questions.
Well, I mean, I think as someone who has been screwed by my own strength in the fan leagues before, it's like sometimes it depends on what else is on the reel. If there's a lot of FE categories on the reel, sometimes it's like, well, I'm not going to take that risk to try, because, like, if, for example, say, like, it's an indicator when I spin Harry Potter first round, like, it's what I consider to be my biggest strength. But if there's, like, stuff like Pixar, Disney, Fast and Furious, and stuff like that up there, then I'm only okay with them. I'm not super confident with them, so I'm probably going to stick with Harry Potter and take the chance that it could be deep coming. And I mean, I think when it comes to 80s, I think with the strength, I think they did also, I think they did if it's, with the strength, I think Chris tends to deliberately make some deep cut ones in there, especially when he knows that one of the people playing is like, well, that's definitely Drew's strength. I'm not going to give him softball questions or like easy questions from well-known moves. I'm going to try and reach in. So I mean, the 80s is a broad category as it is.
Yeah, it's already broad. Definitely. We could cut this out. You were talking about if you were in an air deep the match. Did you say Fast and the Furious was on the wheel? Is that I mean it.
Well, it's in the multiplex fandom fight. So
okay, we can cut this. I was just like, what the fuck is Fast and Furious in your deep tub? The fuck? You know what? It's not going to be cut whatsoever. You know why it's not going to be cut? Because this show, we're about family. That's why. Oh my God, Vin Diesel's going to do the fancy update this week. High five myself. Abe, same question to you, and I'll change it a little bit based off of what Malcolm said. Chris Zalisky, do you think he does? Like, if he knows Drew McWeeny is playing this match, he knows that he's a strength, does he go a little bit more deep cut? Or do you think it just comes down to when categories have been played so many times, they just kind of have deep cut questions left to be able to put in it?
I don't think Chris writes the question like, oh, because Drew McWeeny gets it every single time. I don't think it would work like that. Those questions in the match, probably they were written a year ago. Poor Chris, he writes a ton of questions, so those questions were all. But what was the second question? I'm sorry.
The second question is kind of the same thing, which is, do you think competitors should think about maybe not going right away to one of their strengths that's been played a lot in matches?
I don't think so, because whatever you want to say, okay, maybe you will get. There's more of a chance of you getting the question right in 80s, getting questions because I don't know if you guys listen to Drew McWeny's podcast of 80s all over. He's in 1984 right now. He covers every single movie in the 80s, and the questions he missed were after 84. So okay, let's be honest. Give him, by the end of the podcast, he's gonna be great in 80s. I'm sad because of this match, because I had Drew and Brian winning, but I'm happy to see the post-match interview of them working together
Yeah, which
later.
Abe, I'll stick with you. So your thoughts on this match overall, and also based on the post-match interview, the possibility of Tate the Cannoli coming back next season.
This match saddened me a lot because I think it was my fault. Last summer when we were predicting who's gonna win this match, I said that we're gonna Brian and Drew were gonna score 40 points, and they only scored 25, which is a good score in my opinion. But well, I feel the pain, I feel the loss, and I'm hoping for them to, you can see Drew in the post-match interview, like he wants Brian as a partner, and Brian doesn't give an answer. I don't know. Well, Brian has a partner, He brought I'm forgetting his name.
Brian, someone.
Yeah, he brought Brian in the title match, so that's probably iffy for Brian, But she has time to think about it, but I hope they do. And I want to mention somebody that we didn't mention last summer, I believe, is Marquia. Marquia is like a life coach you want to have because he hypes you up. He makes you, he makes your blood running. Like, she's amazing. I want her to be Drew's manager to the tournament because Drew McQueen is winning the singles tournament. Or Clark Wolf. Or any of the other 8 people, because that's going to be a plus.
Okay, so I'm going to hop off this before I turn it over to Malcolm, which is, yes, this was a great match. I thought it was really close. I thought at any point, especially with round 2 being the way it was, which, you know what, listen, again, as I always say, I preference this with any one of these people competing in that round 2 would have kicked my ass in that round 2. This was a really close match. It was great, and I agree with you. Marquia, she's changed her character in this Anarchy tournament from, like, before when she was with the Viper Squad. She was kind of just, like, the silence at, like, she kind of, just, like, which, of course, when you're with Jay Washington, you don't really get a lot to say because he's so good at it, but, like, I'm with you. I really like how she's changed her character with Drew and Brienne. That kind of just, that nice face kind of rubbed off on her a little bit, and I'm really enjoying. I hope she stays Drew's manager for the singles tournament. I think that'd be great to see her, and I think it'd be great for Tate the Cannoli to stay as a team. Malcolm, your thoughts on the match and the possibility of Tate the Cannoli sticking together next season?
Yeah, I mean, the match itself was good, and I just like the fact that Brienne has convinced Drew to go along with cosplay. Because, like, I never, like, when he was a Sam, was like, he usually just come out as himself. So, like, everyone's like, oh, he's not going to be one that's going to dress up and do fancy things. But in this tournament, Brienne managed to make Drew dress up, and I like the chemistry is great, and I really do want to see Tate the Cannoli stay together because, and I mean, it's one of those ones. I think I like Brian as her partner with Sick of the Head, but I mean, if that means we lose him and Brienne as a team, I mean, Brian can probably find someone else easily to team with. And I mean, I don't think it's a fact of Marquia changing her character. I think it's more, once you take her out of the shadow of Jay Washington, it showed how good she actually is on the mic. And I think that's what it comes down to, because I think because this tournament has even brought out the manager and voice of Coy Jandra as well. So I mean, Coy is another one which I didn't know what to get from him as the manager. Well, then you see him on stage with his shirt open doing Jeff Goldblum. It's like, I wouldn't expect that. But and I mean, it's a shame Tate the Cannoli's not going through, but in saying that, it shows how good the Harris brothers actually were as well. Because I mean, Jonathan was just killing it in round 1, and when they got Samuel Jackson, like, it's what I was talking about with Meryl Streep. He's been in over 100 movies, so I mean, it's a really broad category. I mean, well, yes, it's a new one, so like a lot of people will go, well, it's a new category. It's going to be really surface level questions. They found out very quickly that it wasn't going to be. But yeah, and also if Tate and Cannoli stay together, I really hope they continue to do the bit in the post-match interviews where they bring cannolis out to the competitors.
Yes, that would be extremely funny. And now that we've talked about the winners and everything, let me also just remind everyone here at Take 3 that I still have a perfect bracket, which of course I did not send my bracket officially into the Schmoedown this year. Of freaking course! Huh!
Can I mention something?
No.
I will. I just want to mention the Harris brothers. I think Jonathan and Lon are amazing in the character they're playing. Like I'm rooting for them to win. You know, they took my team. They took both of my teams as the Wildberries and take the cannoli. But they're great. Well, one was JT, but Lon and Jonathan characters are out of this world. They're smart. They know how to talk. They're noticeable. They are very smart people. That's the only thing. And they're funny. That's a good thing. And poor Jen Sturger.
Poor Jen Sturger. But guys, now we've talked about the matches. So before we get into the upcoming matches, let's turn it on over to star of the pacifier, Vin Diesel, for the fantasy update.
I like the pacifier.
Hey guys, it's Vin Diesel here. Hey, you know what? Take 3. They're all about family. This fantasy league is about family. Let's talk about the family standings. So in first place in this family, we have Super Epic X Team. This family's got 848 points. That's a pretty good family going on right there. That's a really good family. In second place, we got Team Corgi. You know, Corgis, the thing about them is dogs. They form family bonds because they're all about family. And they got 743 points. That's good. Then we got in third place, Munch and Schmo Boys. Boys, their family, and they got 705 points. Then we got the Yodi Alliance. That's a family of 1, but he's got 445 points. Then we got Penguins. Penguins, their families in the animal kingdom, and they have 420 points.
As a bio major, I can tell you penguins are not a family.
Oh man, did you see Happy Feet? They were a family. Happy Feet. Why? This just in, I'm Vin Diesel. I'm gonna star in Happy Feet 3. Cause me and Elijah Wood, we're gonna be family. Tiny Carrots. Carrots, they're the family of the vegetable kingdom. And they have 405 points. And finally, That Movie Geek. He has no family because he's just a geek, not geeks. But he's got 341 points. Also, no one's trading because you don't trade family. Unless your family starts sucking the Schmoedown and someone else do better. So this has been Vin Diesel for your fantasy updates, brought to you by family and fantasymts.com for all your fantasy Schmoedown draft needs and family. Diesel's amazing, guys. I'm so happy that he has agreed to take time out of his busy schedule of only shooting Fast and Furious movies once every 3 years to come and do the fantasy updates, since Vinny and Kermit have moved to late night with Take 3, so they won't be here anymore. Or maybe they will. Maybe Vinny and Vin Diesel one day will do it. No. But yeah, seriously. So let's get into next week's matches. We have Founding Fathers versus Corruption. This is a really good matchup. We have some power players here. Malcolm, we can go to you first. Who do you think's winning this match?
This is tough because I know that on my bracket I had the Corruption winning, but I think Founding Fathers might pull us out now that I'm thinking about it. But I mean, it's really hard to choose, so I'm just going to stick with my bracket and go Corruption.
Okay. Abe, I don't know what your bracket is, but who do you have winning this match?
My bracket has been busted since the third match of the tournament, so not worth mentioning. I have the Founding Fathers winning just because of their experience. Schmoedown, both Dan and Roca. But I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, to see Corruption. Oh my god, I should stop eating that. To see Corruption winning the match. Because last match against Inky and the Brain, I don't think Chance was able to show his powerhouse knowledge in the second round, but I think he can make a difference, and we've seen Kalinowski play amazing in team and singles matches, so I wouldn't be surprised if Corruption wins.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too. Founding Fathers are two guys who they've kind of, I mean, they both have held the belts in singles. Roca has held the belt in teams, so we already know they can play. Whereas with Chance is that element where it's like he's only had one match. Mike, of course, like you said, we've seen he's been able to do great in teams and singles. So I think this honestly teeters on how Chance performs. If he and Mike are able to gel really well together like they did in the first match, they have a chance to beat Roca and Merle. But if Roca and Merle are just on, the levels of, champs, then, who knows? It's going to be a great match for sure. But the big matchup next week is going to be the singles title match between John Roca and William the Beast Bibiani. I'm going to get my thoughts out here first. I love William Bibiani. I think he's a fantastic competitor. The things he's done this season have just been fantastic. He follows me on Twitter. But another guy who follows me on Twitter is John Steven Roca. There is something about Roca recently that the fire is just back in him. Like, I've just seen it on Twitter in post-match. Like, there's just something. After that guy match, which I had my thoughts on, and I already, laid them out. You can check out that summit when we talk about that. But there's something about Roca right now where it's just, I don't know. I just think it's going to be enough for him to be able to just pull the win out from Bibbs. And that's not to take anything from Bibbs, but there's something that I think is going to just drive Roca to get that belt again. Malcolm, what are your thoughts on this match?
This, I think, is going to be a close match. But ultimately, I think that Bibbs has the drive to keep winning and staying the champion. I mean, this is one of those matchups that I think everyone's been waiting for ever since they teased it last year for the singles tournament. Will we finally see Bibbs get Roca's hat? We'll find out. So, I mean, I do think Bibbs is pulling this out. And it's not because Clark is holding us to ransom.
No, he's not. Abe, who do you think's winning? Who's going to be the singles champion at the end of this week?
Who I think is winning? That's a great question. What match? I think I'm going to be straightforward. I think Rock is winning. Because as Matt said, he has the fire back on him. And when John Roca has the fire back on him, is great for the Schmoedown. I think he's the biggest superstar the Schmoedown has ever given us. And I think when Rock is playing good, the Schmoedown is doing good. So when Rock is a champion, I'm gonna be happy. And about Peps, I wouldn't be surprised if Peps win. He's been on fire since the free for all. He's been playing amazing. He played great in teams. Just happened to be against a great team of Who's the Boss against Cinemaniacs. He did great with critical acclaim. He did well in his both singles matches to get the title. But I'm picking Rock because Latino power,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's racist.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a match. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those. It comes down to the last question kind of thing. I just get that sense from both of them because they both just have a drive. And that's it. There's no real news that dropped at all this week.
I'm pregnant.
Oh, congrats, Abe. Abe, that's so great. You know why? Because now you have family. There's no real news. Of course, the Patreon Halloween match is going to be dropping pretty soon. I can't wait to talk about that. And my fucking brother's texting me. Give me a second. God damn it.
I cannot wait about that. Also,
I can't wait about that. Yeah, there's nothing really else happening. There's nothing like crazy that's been dropped. Like Harloff's like, the most. Oh well, I guess the news. I'm not sure if we talked about it last week. Chance Ellison. He won the drawing. He is in what?
we talked about it.
We talked about. See, we talked about it, right? So you know what, guys? Abe, where can the good people find you online?
Oh my god, that soon? I'm gonna be able to watch Halloween today early? That's great. You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25 where I don't tweet usually nothing. Also, do not add me on Facebook if I don't know you. You can follow me on Instagram if I decide to allow you to follow me. You have to look like a respectful person. Also, watch the Reactors Summit every Monday. And listen to Gone with the Wind with Manning, myself, Malcolm and myself, and sometimes Ryan, where we talk about the Oscar season, which is a great show. We're going to be reviewing First Man this week.
Malcolm, besides and Gone with the Wind, where can the good people find you online?
You can find me online on Take 3 Productions, where I host my show Rankin. Normally it's on Sunday nights, but this week it's going to be on tomorrow.
It's gonna be on today because this drops on Monday, right?
But I'm talking about Tuesday. I actually did get it right this time.
Look at that! All right, credit to the giver. All right.
You can also find me on competing in trivia on Full Metal and Multiplex, and also on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Melford.
See, guys, this is what happens when we have live shows that we're trying to plug on a pre-recorded video. But guys, you as always can find me. That didn't sound like proper English, but you can find me on Twitter at Kearns_Matt on Twitter, MattMoody611 YouTube, right here as co-host of Rhyme and Reason. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, but I'd rather you not add me unless I know you, because the things I like to post on both of those are all about family. This is Vin Diesel again. You can find me on Twitter at Vin Diesel. Also, before The Rock was a thing, I had the most Facebook followers, so you can still find me verified on Facebook. And I'd like to talk about family. Also, Fate and the Furious now streaming on iTunes. Go and check it out. Okay, this has been a great Reactor Summit. I'm really happy that I'm a part of the Stake-Free family. And you know what? Paul Walker might be in the next Fast and Furious movie because we'd like bring family back from the dead. Bye.
What is love?